Continuing debate, resuming debate, the honourable member for Hastings, Lennox and Addington.
Mr. Speaker, I stand before you humbled by this enormous responsibility entrusted to me by the voters of Hastings, Lennox and Addington. In an ideal world, the people who are responsible for making this moment possible would be here with me. Though they are not here, they're certainly not forgotten. To the dozens of volunteers and friends who put their lives on hold during our campaign, know that I count on you as my political family. I will be forever grateful for your efforts and so thankful to have you part of my circle of trust. To my husband, Tatum, thank you so much for believing in me and standing beside me. Our life is beautifully chaotic, and I appreciate you being able to support me and make it possible for me to be here. To my daughters, Tori and Reese, I am so incredibly proud of you, my volleyball player, my hockey player. Always strive to be authentic and genuine. To my two sisters and their families, the village of support to help with the girls is so appreciated. To my parents, Daryl and Carol Ann Kramp. Mom, you have taught me to be fearless, respectful, and responsible. You are an incredible role model, and I certainly know where I get my energy from. To my father, you have earned a tremendous amount of respect here in Ottawa, and the impact you have made on our riding over the years is remarkable. Dad and I share something very unique to Canadian politics. My father is our current MPP for Hastings, Lennox and Addington, while I now hold the federal seat. You are my political mentor, and more importantly, you're my dad. May I follow your lead. May I follow your lead, but mark my own path moving forward. To the people of Hastings, Lennox and Addington, know that I will remain laser focused on the task that you have given me, holding this government accountable. I will be more than just a critic. I will propose solutions while representing you, and I will never stop being an advocate for our riding. To those who have grown tired of politics, I hope to inspire you and restore your faith in this great institution. Last Tuesday, the Governor-General read the speech from the throne, the document that sets out the government's agenda and vision for the upcoming session. Unfortunately, the people of HLNA, as well as other rural ridings across this great country, it didn't appear to include them. Whether it be rural internet, broadband internet, the agricultural sector, or rebuilding Main Street, this government has signaled that these issues are just not of concern for them. There is no plan to lower inflation, address labor shortage, or supply chain. There is no plan to ease the financial burden of struggling business owners. Our current government loves to talk about money, the amount of money promised, committed, or spent. But the results are just not there. More consultants, more studies, more bureaucracy, more debt, more disappointment. Accountability and transparency matters. Mr. Speaker, in my opinion, we are experiencing the most corrupt and divisive government in history. This matters, and we need to do better. Too many Canadians are suffering from depression, anxiety, and burnout. Canada's mental health crisis has deepened. Mental health is health, and we should be collectively supporting this in a non-partisan manner. For those of you personally affected, please reach out. Surely, the 6 people who may be the pallbearers at your funeral would rather lift you up now in your time of need. We love you, Matt. Allow me now to address the outlook for our agricultural sector. It's bleak. The farmers and livestock and dairy producers that are found in every corner of HLNA, once again, are an afterthought for this government. In a nearly 3,000-word document, our agricultural sector was mentioned one single solitary time. Let me be clear. Our united Conservative caucus knows that it's farmers like those found in Sterling and in Napanee that feed Canadians from coast to coast to coast, and it's high time that the members on the other side of this House recognize this fact. I was pleased that the throne speech spoke to the issue of reconciliation with Canada's First People. I had the good fortune to count the Mohawks of Bay of Quinte among my communities. During my very first week as a member of Parliament, the people of Tyendinaga voted to ratify a partial land claim returning 300 acres to the Mohawk Territory. In the spirit of reconciliation, I call on the government to settle the remaining land claims expeditiously with fairness to all concerned. As Shadow Minister for Seniors, I would like to now focus on an area that is very close to the hearts of many Canadians. With this speech from the throne, the Liberal government has sent a chilling message to Canada's most vulnerable. With only a single mention in passing, this government chose to completely ignore some very serious issues. There was no mention of combating social isolation, no mention of cracking down on elder abuse, no mention of improving access to palliative care, and no mention of fixing the rising costs of critical goods like groceries and medicine. This is a troubling trend. During the previous Parliament, members of this place from every party and every province started receiving frantic phone calls, emails, and letters from seniors in their ridings. The complaints were near identical. The GIS was severely reduced, or in many cases, completely eliminated after the July recalculation period. These seniors that depend on the guaranteed income supplement to pay for food to eat, a bed to sleep, and medicine to live had their financial safety net torn out from them overnight. The people who built this country suddenly found themselves abandoned by it as a result of poor communication from this government. Realizing the very serious consequence of such a sudden and unforeseen reduction in disposable income, my colleague, the member for Battlefords Lloyd Minister, quickly took action and sent a letter to the then Minister of Seniors asking her to address the situation. Mr. Speaker, she never received a response. Not only are their dollars not going as far as before, they now have fewer to start off with. On top of this, so many seniors are embarrassed to come forward, to go to food banks, to ask for help. Traditionally, our seniors and our country have been self-reliant. This is becoming increasingly more difficult. On page 14 of the 2021 federal budget, the words, "We owe our elders a great debt. This is a partial repayment," appear. What this government has done in the intervening months is not only a spectacular failure to partially repay our elders, but rather increase the debt we owe to them. Mr. Speaker, I know this government does not have the best track record on balancing budgets, but as a former financial advisor, I can assure them it is not difficult to figure out that this government's policies have added to the debt they owe our seniors, not repay it. Being elected as a member of Parliament to represent the people of Hastings, Lennox, and Addington, and across this great nation is a privilege. We must never forget the people that sent us here, and we must never stop fighting for them. It is my sincere and perhaps naive belief that every person that comes through the doors of this chamber has the intent to make our country a better place to live for ourselves, for our children, and for our seniors. I grew up having so much pride in Canada, being a self-reliant, resilient, and resourceful nation. Join me in wanting to earn this back. Let's work together to give our young leaders the tools and resources so that they can continue to make this country strong and free. We all have different approaches to what progress looks like, but it is that personal drive, that core tenet of public service that unites all of us. And this is what makes this place such a profound and powerful institution. Regardless of your path in life, do it with the absolute best of your ability. Never stop learning, improving, and making a difference. In closing, Mr. Speaker, I was fortunate to learn a great deal from an amazing parliamentarian. That knowledge and that relationship shaped me to who I am today and why I am here. The growth I was able to achieve learning from one parliamentarian was profound. I can't wait to see what learning from 337 others will do. Mom and Dad, thank you for your kind words of wisdom. Believe in yourself, always keep your doors open, think things don't happen unless you make it happen. Be kind, love life, and seek happiness along the way. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and God bless.
Question et commentaire.
Questions and comments. The Honourable Member for Sackville, Preston, Chesapeake.
Right again, the Winnipeg North.
Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Winnipeg North.
To share with the member, we share something in common. Her father is an MLA, and she is the daughter. My daughter is an MLA in the Manitoba legislature. And as I am very proud of my daughter, I am sure he is exceptionally proud of his daughter. And I can say, one of the things that we share in common, again, is that she is a very powerful advocate for seniors. As I see the member opposite also wants to be a very powerful advocate for seniors. What I would suggest, as I've talked to my daughter about, is that there is a need for different levels of government to work together. And I'm sure she can appreciate the importance of different levels of government to work together. Would she not agree that on the issue of seniors, that yes, that is important, that we recognize what both levels of government can do, and we can work together to make a positive difference and have a more positive impact for seniors, no matter where they live in our great country?
The Honourable Member for Hastings, Lennox and Addington.
Well, thank you kindly for your question, and I certainly applaud you as well for having the relationship, the special bond between your daughter as well, and serving the public service. It's no question the importance of coordination between different levels of government is integral. I served 15 years on municipal government. There I can see the relationships and the importance of working with municipal, provincial, federal. That's how things happen, and the beauty of collaboration and cooperation, and that's the spirit of democracy. Thank you.
Et commentaire, l'honorable député.
Questions and comments. The Honourable Member for Lac-Saint-Jean. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to... I'll allow her the time to get her earpiece in. I'd like to thank my colleague for what she had to say. It's always nice to hear a new colleague in the House. Now, I absolutely agree with what she said. I think we have to increase old age security because a senior's purchasing power has been falling. I'd like to know if she agrees with us. They would need at least $110 more a month. The Honourable Member.
Question. I think indeed there's no question that seniors are the backbone of where we've come as a nation, and I think we need to support our seniors. There needs to be dialogue as to letting seniors have the dignity of being comfortable and not worrying about whether or not they can put food on the table, not worried about whether or not they can support their family, not worried about if they can have the same quality of life that they were accustomed to. And I think also I've raised in my speech the importance of there's a lot of intimidation of going forth and admitting that there's trouble and that there's concern. And I think taking away the barriers of making people feel comfortable is important.
Question et commentaire.
Questions and comments.
London Fanshawe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm happy to also congratulate the member. I, too, like a few of us here today, have the honor of following in parents' footsteps. As she may know, my mother was the former member for London Fanshawe, and I've learned so much from her. I continue to learn so much from her, and so I also appreciate that parentage and that lineage. What I wanted to ask, and again, it's as my colleagues have asked, along the same lines as protecting our seniors. One of the things that we've seen now, some of the seniors in my riding, they've come forward to me, and they are dealing with the clawback on their GIS because of the money that they received by the CERB. It's actually left them to a point where they cannot afford their rent, and they are being forced into homelessness. And so I'm wondering if the member across the way could to tell me how she and her party would, if they would support the NDP's push on this government to change that clawback of the GIS. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member for Hastings, Lennox and Addington, 30 seconds.
Fantastic. Well, there's no question that there's scores of seniors who, as a result of the government's poor rollout of the CRB, they're finding themselves in a really difficult situation. They're being stripped of their OAS and GIS, and it's through no fault of their own. I really think, and I would certainly agree, that the government needs to reverse the decision, and we need to allow seniors to collect what they have earned. We need to lead by example. We need to show them. We need to win on these issues together. Seniors do not need to be a political football. Thank you.
Resuming debate, the Honourable